Yeah, it's destroying the launch pad. That's actually really interesting because since Kami and Seti here are so split, obviously they're quite far away from each other, this team could easily just drop a launch pad and then just basically land on either Kami and Seti, who's super split. So by just basically using a bit of a lightning bolt to destroy it, that means he can't get pushed by himself and they have to run all the way over and give them more time, which is really smart. It's hard to say. Are they on top of the... Yeah, they are. Okay. I like the idea here. When you're fighting for a vault like this, like they have under here, Kami obviously up on top to give himself like angles. He can see anyone coming. He can DMR them off. He can water bending them away if anyone's trying to push for the bunker. However, being in a bush right next to this is always so incredibly good as well. Because for guys like, they'll see the tower and they'll push up and they'll try think they have like free shots so they'll try and chop out or do something like that. Whereas Seti can just sit in the bush underneath and then just get like an insta damage on them, like giving them an advantage as soon as the fight starts. This is something that people used to do a lot when it came to what was it called, the combat caches. Nice. Fizz. Interesting how very minor tech, but fizzing continually along the edge so that they're not like swimming down, so they land and can continually jump. That's really nice too. Unsurprising dead side rotation from Kami and Seti. I expect nothing less. So the waffling. Dead side, super easy rotate. Most of the time, Kami and Seti like to sit in this area so that they can hold anyone coming in from here. However, obviously, there's only really one team here, so I don't know if they'll do that. Let's have a look and see what they end up doing. The second run. Yeah, it was good, lad. How are you doing? Still decent. Hey, thank you. All right, full dead side again. I'm not gonna lie. I really wanted to look at like a lot of their rotates this game, but I'll be completely honest. When you have dashes, like it just makes life so much easier. But I do think something that's really important here is that they were. Here we go. Where were they? They were here, and once they kind of staggered, waited here, got some dashes recharge, and then have gone even deeper into this side of the zone. Despite the fact they don't know where the zone's going to pull, because they don't have forecast this game. If it pulls back, like they still have a completely free rotate to go all the way back around this way. But they've given themselves the opportunity to make like an early rotate ahead of time by being dead side here, which is super nice. All right, zone is now pulled fully south back. They can stick fully to the edge, which I really like. Little refarm, which is nice. They're almost still cap going into endgame, which is nuts. Dipped in to get a... Oops, I just clicked on a random other Polish player. And again, this is a kind of similar thing I talked about in the previous zone, which is just the ending up like on the corner of where the zone pulls. Now, I don't know if we'll have to see if they rotate deeper into this side of the zone this time, but building up. I've seen them pretty much every single game I've watched, which now is 2 games. So it is a lot, I understand. Rotate deep into... Basically, you play for height at the 7th side of the zone as well. And again, because they position themselves fully... Let's do this. They basically refarmed and positioned on this side of the zone before. Now they've had a full dead side rotate yet again. Still cap mats. And now this is pretty much the first time they've been shot throughout the entire rotation here. Right, low layer. Very early rotate. Interesting. And this is where they start to commit mats. This is basically like the second time this game where they've actually had to commit mats now. And they started fully on low and they've immediately ramped up. That's basically they're pulling over like the congested side of the zone with tons of players underneath them. So whether or not you're playing for height in this game or not, continually ramping up at this point in the zone means that you're basically building over everyone anyway. And since you have dashes and stuff, even if you're not playing for height, there we go. And obviously, had they just decided to rotate through all of this, that would have been a complete mess. However, they rotate around the side, wrapped all the way up, and now, even if, obviously, Voltiacs and Psycho's on height, so that might be a little bit difficult if they just continue to try to hold them here. But even dashing to front side, they should be fine. I'm never really too concerned about everything else. Dash. Nice. Free height. I mean, it's basically the same height retake that almost everyone is doing right now, which is where both players just dash, and then they crank up. Ooh, I really like that, actually, the way that Seti ended up doing that there. All right, spraying. Get your fizz on. Right, they fizz. And they go completely different directions. So Kami goes to the left. Sorry, to the right. And Seti goes up to the left. So they've like fully pinched height retake here. Seti down here, looking up. Kemi down here, looking up. Also, completely from the south zone. He gets sprayed. At the same time, because they're focused on him backside, Seti's ramped up on this side. However, unfortunately, Voltiac still has dashes as well, so he's able to still keep height from that. But really cool that they ramp up from behind, basically dash either side and ramp up individually from like the opposite sides, because you're guaranteed to essentially be, unless like your both height players are focusing on you at opposite sides, which is very unlikely, but almost guaranteed to kind of get some height there. That was almost a bit unfortunate that they was I going to say that Voltiac still had dashes. But now he's just connected and can chop him out. Really nice height retake. Voltiac dies to fall damage. Let me just fix the audio bug. This game sucks. Nice. Whilst he's getting that loot, Seti's all the way up on height and established. Really nice. That was a beautiful height retake. Nice. Vino's movement's really nice. He's just continually kind of moving around. Not necessarily just swinging on a wall, because the reality is players at this level just keep reboxing. So like by continually moving before, you're not wasting your time just like pickaxing a wall, you know? You're trying to get around to the angles where they've just freshly built a wall and they're keeping track of them. Oh, the piece. Nice. Lovely. That's mappy. Ooh. Yeah, but how did... one of the things like that is always a continual problem with players of every level, and this is Vino, one of the best players in the world, someone who very rarely makes any mistakes at all, is... You see, once he gets this Elim, right? He's watching Mappy. He hears the snipe there. There's an audio cue, gets the snipe. So he has the ability just to jump straight in. Gets the kill here. And creates a bunch of space up above, right? Now, is that wall his? I swear that wall. Let me check if that wall's his. Maybe I might just be talking to my ass here. Hold on. No, that wall is not his. Okay, it's Kiro's wall that's next to him. That's what I thought. Okay. I thought it was his for a second. Even in situations like that, like, you've just got an Elim straight away, you have to be super careful about just diving into boxes where other players' builds are, especially when there's so many players contested around you, and they're good players at that. Like, they're going to take an opportunity to just to try and poo on you, basically. Also, inventory-wise, I think a lot of players are taking, like, snipers this season, and obviously, snipers are really good, but Vito's one of the best snipers in the game, and he's taking triple heals, and Tayson also is taking triple heals. I think, like, one of the things, because you have to rotate by foot, carrying 3 sets of heals, it ends up being so good because the amount of damage that people take on average during rotation is so high because of the lack of mobility. So just that extra heal slot usually goes quite a long way. Okay. I like the counter aggression there. So sees obviously the team sniping them, and when you're either using a Flowberry Fizz or you're using dashes, you can always still just spray back. So if anyone's shooting at you, they're peeking through angles, don't just be passive about it. The best way you can deter them from looking at you is just by shooting them back. Nice. This guy's unaware. Ramp in, and unfortunately, somehow got that wall too. This is such an awkward angle. I don't know what that guy's doing. Nice. I like the attempt just to get straight back to the body. Throw it back in, kind of what we talked about earlier. That was a very unsafe box. And they don't need that many materials to get refreshed here. So that one body's already got them to cap. So going for that other Elim probably would have just been a bit greedy. I like that the immediately, like, they're not just fizz dashing and hoping for or fizzing and just hoping for the best. It's like they fizz up one layer, maybe out a couple tiles, and then just commit mats straight in. Obviously the zone wasn't far for them. But at the same time, the worst thing you can do when you have cap is just die because you just fizzed and jumped through the sky and hope for the best. Alright, scouting. See if there's anyone they can go for refresh on. Love the sneaking through old builds. Again, this is a lovely rotate in terms of positioning. Maybe a bit scuffed here. Fizz. They're not just fizzing and praying. They're committing mats, going through old builds, taking good paths. A lot of players here will just be either dashing or just fizzing and jumping through the sky. Like, That was not the play, because that just gets you killed straight away. They commit materials early on. One jump. Nice. So yeah, I think the way I really like the way that they're using the fizz is that it's like a single jump and build as soon as you land and keep going. You know, it's not like we just keep jumping and hoping for the best. We do a single jump, we build, we tarp, we look for a player. If we can't find them, we repeat. Nice, they got that refresh. Vino has the most insane amount. I got a nice pullback, which has probably helped them here, but they have so many whites, it doesn't really matter. Player in the wall. Oh, 2 players out that way. Great exit from Vino. But now everything's a bit scuffed. You can tell he's very calm at this moment too, because he has 6... Is that 6 splashes? Yeah, he's still got 6 splashes in his inventory. And he didn't waste them. He didn't like instantly use them like I would have and panicked. Scouted. Jump once. Nice shot. Again, 1 fizz, build. 1 fizz, build. And then he dies. You can't win them all. There we go. Match split. But because they played so good so far, Jason's obviously got a ton of his ton of mats still left. Going into the final zone with 100 builds is actually kind of insane. Solo. Bunch of players as layer. I like the fact that he saw his layer was getting congested with a bunch of players, even just like 1 tile above and a bit cut off. So he just drops down a bit. There's still so many free layers under him that even if he'd stayed up high, he could have just got sprayed out anyway. He's also, as a solo, he's not playing... Ooh, that was really nice, actually. As a solo, he's not being like passive and just not editing. He's still trying to deal damage. Either whether he kills them or not, it doesn't really matter. He's still trying to like damage out the other players in the lobby. Also, I meant to mention that banana jump that he did there to go up a couple layers to get away from player was just super nice. Nice. Great angles. Now he's pretty much down to wood. So he has heal off with a ton of materials. Not a ton, sorry, with a ton of heals. Jumps into the back. Love it. This way he can see the angles of the players up above. This can spray out height. But it's all connected. Bit risky because the height... Oh no, he's mirroring height from underneath. So it's not actually as risky. Chug splashes in. Into the backside, which is so hard to counter in this kind of area. I don't know what Marco's doing. Marco's a great player, but he looks lost. For A2. Oh, the mid... Oh yeah, that's how he came second. I thought they won this game for a second. That's why I was thinking. Really nice play. Nice little solo clutch there. I think the fact that he was super aggressive, despite the fact he was a solo, is definitely super, super beneficial there to him continuing. Because he actually got a couple of limbs, which adds up on the points too. Nice, he goes in. Banyak's still looting. Now they have the Mythic AR. Do they drop the coin? That's the interesting part, right? They do. So many teams, Swizzy and Vanyak included, are not taking this coin. Now it grants about a 5% and a bit more boost to damage at range. However, the reality is it shows you on the map, and because I remember Harry said this, which is a nice piece of analysis from him, because it's the edge of the map, if you've got a far rotate, you're always going to know roughly where this team is, because you're going to see that marker on the map, you're going to see them continue rotating, and you can easily get held by teams later. So most teams are just not actually taking this. However, because the zone's closer, I do think it's maybe a little bit more worth. Okay. I think in an FNCS Grand Finals, to be honest with you, this is going to really struggle because it depends how scuffed the fights get here. That takes so long to get that metal. Like we're already into the second zone and they're just leaving their draw spot now. You know, they fought off spawn and so they got like 200 surge from that there, which means they can afford to like spend a little bit more time. But damn. You know, there's no one even around them here. So if there's just like a high, like, Grand Finals game with high player counts, I think they would probably struggle a bit on Surge from this. Especially if, like, the Mount Olympus teams decide to push in, you know? They are indeed going for the Olympus coin. Interesting. I guess this is because it was there. Like, there's no way they get this every game, right? A lot committed, but there's so many mats here. Like, they're fully trying. Like, there's so much, like, fast harvesting brick here. They're chilling. Like, Vanyak's down to 60 builds. He spent so much committing that. That's actually kind of insane. From 150. So he committed 90 builds just to get the DMR. So I guess actually the interesting thing is, like, because they're in this corner of the map here and no one was there, in this game in particular, getting up to the Mount Olympus Mythic DMR, with that DMR, you're now able to get way more surge. So it kind of counterbalances the fact that they landed in the corner of the map. And again, in the grand finals lobby, does this really work, you know? It is like... That's risky to 50-50 that with 102 HP. Like one headshot and you're knocked. Pop a mini. Just pop a mini and do that first, please. Like, at that distance, 50-50ing is fine. Because the reality is, like, you're going to have so many extra heals left here because this place is uncon. You can trade surge. You can just shoot, do whatever. But doing that at 102 HP where you can just be dinked and die is not a good idea. Unless the damage... Is there a good damage drop-off for the DMR? I can't quite remember, actually. I don't think at that range there is. Siphon and dash. Yeah, but still. You're going to pop that big? Yeah, there we go. Okay. Bit risky. Yeah, 100% dies there. Like, that was crazy stupid. I don't know if that's just a lack of awareness or just like they're just too confident. One of the two. It's either stupidity or confidence, which are often in life the same thing. Big cock syndrome. That is a better way of wording it. Alright, lucky pools. This hill is actually such freak shit when it comes to games in this corner of the map. Like, the one beautiful thing about being a Mount Olympus team is the fact that you have access to this hill and this launch pad. Anytime I see a base like this, I just think thanks, Trulex. Anytime I'm playing one opens, I see one, I'm just like, oh, thanks, Trulex. Appreciate it, mate. Even though everyone calls it that, but like people have been doing it before him, but... Interesting. There is so much brick around here. I guess you can truly fortify this cringe base all you want. That's the free skill ever. More damage on surge on it. I mean, both mythics now. Like, this is... Yeah, this is... Alright, so they pulled... What kind of zone? God, this zone is awful. Massive hill. To, like, this side of the zone here, like, all fully goes downhill. This is another massive peak. These kind of zones I always find interesting because I want to know where you, like, prioritize positioning. Because, like, dead side in this game is so risky because you're so far down and the chances are zone's going to pull back anyway. But if you situate yourself in any of these areas, you're basically screwed. But for them, luckily, because they're here, they can just like sit on the hill on the pad anyway. So like they're fine for now, and then they can just pad into the next game. But for everyone else, like this is a rough zone. So their early positioning here and the good zone RNG definitely helped out. Super early rotate. Again, another trend we're seeing with a bunch of the what we saw with Camiseti. Because people are positioning themselves close to dead side, even if you're just in the center of one of these partial zones, you're basically in dead side anyway. Everything around you is free. As soon as that next one pops, insta go. Late rotates this season are... I don't want to say a death wish because they can work, but you're just kind of 50-50ing it. And then here's the thing, right? If you are the first team here, you can do exactly what they're doing and try and hold any teams who get close to you, right? So this team's going on dead side, and you can just try and like spray them, force them off to ensure they can't get dead side as much as possible so that it's freer for you to rotate later in the zone as well. That's really interesting as well. I like the duo idea. As Vanyak is looking for turgs. What's the turg? A tag with the DMR. Because he just freshly edited this wall, Swizzy's sitting holding it for him. And now, so that the other team doesn't spray it. And now that it's more... now that it's built and it's a little bit stronger, you can also look from that same angle. That's really nice little techers. All right, zone pulls to the north. Again, left of them is dead side. They know there's only one team there because they scouted that. They can just run down the center. There's that one team. So now they know the chance of them getting shot in the back are pretty minimal. So just a little bit of wood invested to the side. Stagger. Interesting stagger, though. I want to see why they stagger here. Oh, because they can't get into zone yet because it's not opened. That makes sense. Right, fizz. Always fizzing early. Nice. Just jump. Not going high. That is another thing that I think a lot of people messed up this season. Or messed up this season. Was the way that they rotated where they bounced their head off of things and then slide. Like you can still keep the fizz momentum speed by doing small little mechanics like that. without jumping into the sky. I don't know how else Wizards just got pumped there. But again, another thing that we noticed is because they staggered earlier, because they took their time, they're in the exact same position again. So it's like the same thing on all the 3 partials, right? This is the other dead side team that was with them. No one's here. So they can do the exact same rotate again. And so far, all they need to worry about is this team and this team rotating. If they have to go far, that is. Nice, they get sprayed. Back on their base. I he's just kind of WKing the height team at this point. GG? DC'd. Fortnite! Yay! That's so funny. The fact that Vanyak won this game as a solo is... Oh no, he did. Did he win this game? No, he didn't. He came second. The double... I don't know how we got killed out. The double cones here, by the way. Very intentional to sit in the middle of them, right? If you're on a single cone... It's not that the 2 cones is better all the time, but if you're on a single cone, say you're standing on the top, there are angles where you can be seen from one side. If you stand on the left, you can be seen from down here. If you stand on the right, you can be seen from down there. So if you're in the center, as you can see, like this storm, what was I saying? The tarp's in the center of the zone. That's where something like this can be useful. If you're on the edge, there's no point. If you're like tarping along the edge of the storm, there's absolutely no point because you can already cover your right side by being up against the storm. I don't know what I'm trying to wobble about, but this season skybasing it. Please stop. This season skybasing is actually so good. I did this in the solo cash cup yesterday in the one game where I actually didn't play, like I had 0 brain cells. Everyone's just too busy focusing down below. And with the amount of like different utility items that can stop fall damage, he also has the sprint coin, so like he can just sprint off the edge and cancel fall damage. Right now he's got a drop. I don't know why no one's looked up in this lobby, though. It might be Raps or EU. EU might suck right now, I'm not gonna lie. They just let a solo sit on wood on height without looking up for at least 3 minutes. Nice shot. Nice shot. Nice shot. He's basically just playing forever zone wars at this point. Okay. That's a 1v2. It's a nice solo clutch, but I mean, to be honest, I don't know what the I don't know what the rest of this lobby was doing, quite frankly. Oh no, they do win this game actually. I take it back, they do win this game. I thought I opened the second place. Play Storm. Nice shot. This kind of stuff is so hard to predict. Like when you're fighting someone with a banana who's just like jumping around, same with the dashes, like, it's so difficult to hit someone, like to understand what the hell they're actually doing. Nice, really good solo clutch, but EU, it might be Raps for EU. The fact that no one in that lobby looked up that entire end game. All right, Grimgate team. Let's see how EU's finest does it in comparison to the way NA plays. I think the 2 major differences in how... Pardon me. The 2 main differences between how Mustache and Malibuca play this in comparison to Peterbot and Poyo is, number 1, they take their time here. You know, they're not like super fast. Like usually on average, Peterbot and Poyo are out there in 4 minutes if they survive. So by 4 minutes in, they're usually out. We're already into the 3rd zone, which is way later for Mustache and Malibuca. Obviously now they're also fighting for bunker. Usually Peterbot and Poyo would push up here and go for that coin. I guess this is already taken by these guys or whoever some of these people. Alright, they fizz. They both got dashes now. So again, they can look for these kind of elims. Using visual audio to see these guys rotating that way is really nice. Alright, problem is now they are getting hold, but again, it's like they're getting held. Tank a little storm, fizz dash. It's like, it's so hard to hit you when you're doing this. Okay, now they're in. Did lose 100 HP, but still. Going for this with 100 HP is insane. Mustache, you're a crazy man. You're a crazy man. Again, just a classic, like, Malibuca and Mustache are, you know, it's interesting to look at them this season as they don't look super amazing. However, you've always got to remember that this is one of the most reliable fighting teams in endgame in the history of Fortnite ever. Right, jumps out, dashes. I like the intentional bump of his head there to make sure he doesn't jump too high. And still goes a little bit too far because of the fizz. Probably didn't even need the fizz, but obviously did for HP purposes. And now they're pretty much just down to wood. Now, yep, setting up a... Yet again, setting up a oh my god, scrolling line down. Beautiful pre-edit play. No one pre-edits like Malibuca and Moustache. Like, no one is as consistent at all. Okay, now we have tons of fizz. The Malibuca's kind of getting stuck. Moustache, lovely elevation change there to go up a little bit, just to make sure he's safe. And again, even though he's split from Moustache, from Malibuca there, similar to what we talked about with Tayson earlier, he's still being aggressive. He's still trying to look for shots, go for angles. It's not just like, I'm in a box and I'm passive. He's looking around, he's understanding, seeing if he can just get damage onto anyone. Because one of those players could be no HP. Again, bouncing the head. Didn't work so well there because Moustache didn't end up getting any dashes, so he had to go without a dash. So the coin will be... There we go. Now he's got it. Again, heal up again. Drops all the hards. See, again, Malibuca constantly looking. Shoots 2 shots, reloads, sprint jumps. A little bit scary. Coming in the top also is always very scary. Like, when you double edit into the top of a box in endgame, like this, when you double reset that, both of these are 1 HP. So the guys in height, which is Kemi and Seti in this game, can really easily just spray through. So one thing you should do if you ever do this is move out of that box in case someone sprays in. Okay. My god, look at how close they are, right? Like, this is, if you're going to frag an endgame, this isn't necessarily the best thing to do always in early game and mid game fights, because sometimes pinching can be much better. But this is by far the most reliable way to get frags in endgame. It's just staying this close to your duo and just running at people. Whether, yep, same thing. Pushing each other in. More additional loot from that. You're basically, I like to call this shadowing, where essentially you're acting like the shadow of the other player. Like, one person's making the decisions and you're just copying everything that they do. Nice, okay. Moustache gets jumped in, unfortunately. But he's somehow still alive here. Keeps going down to low. Malibuca's doing a really good job of continually keeping the tarp going. I think he's totally out of mats. Probably is, yep. Doesn't go for the replace there, which I really like. Because the time spent editing is probably wasted. This might just be wraps for Moustache. Somehow he's still alive here. He goes down. Great damage at the same time, though. They both just die at the exact same time. It's Kemi and Seti who'll probably just win this game out, I imagine. Yeah, I think the one main thing... Oh, no. Wheat is crazy. Wait, did they lose that because of this? Nah, surely not. Nah, Kemi wins this. Yeah, the main thing about Malibuca and Moustache there that they did so good was, again, just being a shadow of the other player, as I mentioned before. Staying so close, always ensuring you're aiming at the same targets, gets you a long, long way in refreshes and in-game. So he dashes. Someone dashes over his head. He immediately boxes. That guy dashes in, so he gets out. I love the counter damage, and then immediately creates like a full box for himself. Because there's always tons of third parties. And then I think, obviously, this guy's weak because he's just cracked him. He can just jump straight in and finish. Really nice. Really nice from paper. He's so nice, too. Like, there's a med kit in there. I would 100% drop the sniper for that med kit. But again, I think he gets a snipe here. Boom. That's why he's the pro. Wasting a dash here, I would not... Definitely would not waste a dash there just to get away from that. Dashes are so good for late game. And I think committing a dash just to get a little bit earlier into this zone just is not worth it. There you go. Same thing I talked about earlier with this annoying set bug. I think I talked about earlier where they're getting shot from a team that's far away, and as he's dashing and flopping about and sliding and moving, flopping about, that's definitely not the right way to word it. He's spraying back, trying to go for counter damage, and at the minimum there, that broke the ramp that I think it was Bryce was standing on, which basically allowed him to at least miss one DMR shot there. Nice, I got the finish there. Can you build so we can get rid of this? Thank you. That's still there. We love this bug. Nice. Banana YT. Firstly, holding bananas. That is hilarious. Secondly, this guy, Banana YT, in a game I watched, landed the underworld, got the coin, and saw that Peterbot and Poyo were coming towards them, so they dropped the siphon coin and ran into the water. It was extremely funny. And yes, I will be making a short on that. Okay, now I'm actually interested here. Because this is a tough rotate. They have, I think, 2 dashes each, but you can't actually see them here. Max distance zone. This is where I die. So it pulls up. Muzz immediately looks behind him, which I like. Paper's doing a good job actually using mats. This is the kind of rotate where you just have to conserve materials. Not conserve. You have to use materials. What is the hell? Yeah, okay. They have a lot of splashes. I didn't realize they both have splashes. Nice. I like actually breaking through the old builds here. Firstly, there's a chance of finding old loot like that. And secondly, like, you're already covered without having to use any of your own. I also like they went a little early here. Nice ramp behind. And jumping through the trees there. Super nice. You're basically cutting off line of sight from every angle. Outside of the front. Okay. He drops down. I'm imagining they want... Yeah, he's going to come back up. Nice. This is a really good layer to land on too. Really nice. Can use materials at the start. Staggered and broke through some old builds later on. And then did a nice little jump at the end through the trees. Another max rotate. This is where I would spray. I would fizz and pray. But this is nice. This is the second time now we've seen someone fizz, use a banana, and then take whites in the backside of zone, then rotate. I think this is definitely one of the best ways to rotate this season. It's just accepting you're going to take storm damage. Looking for opportunities. Nice spread on height. That's a solo on height, which means it's for free. Interesting of Paper to choose to drop there, though. Maybe just because they're backside of the zone. We didn't want to try and take height at that point, but knowing it was a solo up on height, that seems like, oh, I don't know if that's the best choice. Maybe they just don't want to play height. But that seemed awfully free. Again, same thing. They can fizz with all these splashes. They have been seen, though. But nice job from Paper to go underneath height so that they're going to stop spraying at him. Banana, splashes, and fizz from backside of the storm is actually so good if you stay underneath height, though. Some of these rotations have been really nice. Okay. Muzz wanted to get a little fraggy. He probably should have there, to be honest. Nice, found another team. Beautiful. Muzz was holding. Paper was going for it. Massive refresh because there was a body in there too. And Paper does a really good job of getting ahead there. As Muzz loots. Like, they're not both just like spending time doing that. And now, since he has the extra mats, Muzz takes over. It's the NPC we saw earlier, who's maybe the GOAT. He's maybe the GOAT. No, he's dead. Okay. Take it back. Fizz. Another banana. Splashes too. Oh! Nice shot. Try to claim low front side. This is getting a bit scrappy now. Low-key looking like a bit of an opens game here. Not gonna lie. You know, one of those games you start fragging out with the worst players ever. Kind of low-key looks like that. 2 builds, 2v2. Oh, going back through old builds here is so tough. What's the inventory looking like? 5 splashes still. Ton of fizz. Almost no mats. Oh, it's a solo on height. Okay, I thought it was a duo. Thug Shark. This guy's tried to drop, which is a massive issue, and then he just dies. Why is that guy dropped? Has he got no heals or something? And they won. Nice, okay. I didn't see a single name I recognize in that lobby, but All right, I think this is a max zone. Let's watch from here. Here's first see them. Okay. Early rotates yet again. Again, committing materials. Bit of an elevation change. Nice. Looking straight up for height. This height team is clearly very unaware as well. This height team sucks. It's Banana again! It's Banana, the boy! No way. I love this guy. Every time I watch this guy, he either dies or does something really bad. Like, this is like I said earlier. This is the guy who ran away, who dropped the coin because he was getting W-keyed by Peterbot. Now he's the worst height awareness I've ever seen. Bro, this guy's my G. Like, how do you let this happen? Boys. He's looking back. Nice. My guy, Banana. Okay, he jumps to go front side. Completely oblivious to what's happening there. So here's the number one mistake immediately, right? Like, there's absolutely no one watching the back here. What he should have done is, he should have started ramping up a little bit over, say, just in wood, so he was like a couple tiles higher, so he could at least have vision here. The most important thing here is not that you snipe people backside of Storm. Like, this is absolutely not your number one priority as soon as the zone starts moving. Your number one priority is always to ensure that you're able to keep height. So if neither of the players up here are paying attention to the backside, where anyone could even just mantle up as they're doing, you're going to lose height. And you see, now he notices, and Banana gets cracked. Look at this cinematic kind of live stream. Whoa. Now they've got height. Where, because there's old builds all connected in here, Clicks can just stay way further up as Epic gets a little bit closer. You'll see that 72 builds and 63, they don't really need mats yet. But Clicks is making sure that no one can come on the old builds from the backside and spray him up in the complete opposite way to what happened to Banana. Drops one Banana to Clicks so that he can play the like drop down and frag, I imagine. Yeah, he can play backside of Storm if he wants. The advantage of having whites in your inventory is that you can do something like that. If you need to, you can jump down, you can fly from players from behind in awkward angles. You can just tank Storm to get mats. You can do so much with a Banana in this final moving zone. Like, he's literally just W-keying. Like, the point of Clicks through here is to get aggressive onto the players below, and Epic all just needs to stay alive up above. Clicks is just playing full Disruptor. There we go, Banana. Now he can play in the backside, take angles that this player would never be able to predict that. Even by watching your left footsteps, no matter what it is, it's so difficult to predict someone coming from like a random angle with a Banana in the final moving zone. Bunch of players below. Beautiful angles. Doesn't even go to heal off because Clicks just manages to frag out. Really nice. Really, really nice.